question. And sometimes you want the guy to get right in and play. I don't think this is one of those scenarios. I think he sits for a little bit, and then if Russell Wilson has some struggles, then I think Jackson Dart goes in and plays.
You said earlier you are what you are in the NFL. Well, unfortunately for Russell Wilson, he's a lesser version of what he has always been in the National Football League. We saw that in Pittsburgh last year. Some opportunities to make huge plays down the field. I think Russell Wilson will be the starter. The leash is going to be long to get to Jameis Winston, and then the leash will be extremely short to get to Jackson Dart, because people in New York want to find out what this young player has. And he's got some juice. I mean, I really enjoyed the pick. I like that they didn't panic and they were able to get Jackson Dart where they were. But Russell Wilson's your starter. Jameis, yes, he can throw you 40 touchdowns, but we've seen it before where he can throw you 40 interceptions.
They're in a weird situation, and the reason they're in a weird situation is this regime probably has to win this year.
Yeah.
So how do you balance what's going to be best for the organization for the future?
And if you don't have as many wins, you can float out there that carrot, which is Jackson Dart, and look what he can do.
Correct. You can go into the season. I mean, if you lose a couple games early in the season, and in week 4 you put in Jackson Dart, and he plays really well, and you still only win, and you still only win 7 games. Hey, we don't want him to learn a new offense next year. We want him to carry over into the next year. So it might actually be to your benefit to play Jackson Dart.
Either way, they're going to have to win some games. The schedule makers did them no favors because I believe they have the hardest strength of schedule as well going into 25. So an uphill battle for the Giants going forward. The Steelers quarterback room currently is Mason Rudolph, Skylar Thompson, and Kyle McCord, who they picked up in the draft. Yeah, it's a lot to LOL about. However, we've been on Aaron Rodgers' watch for, I don't know, it feels like months, years at this point. New caveat in the conversation. He did go on a podcast and say that there was the potential that he would be playing against the Bears. He was asked if he was going to be the quarterback for the Bears, and he said no, but I could play a team.
He's obsessed.
I know. Honestly, I'm over it, but I feel like we always have to add that Aaron Rodgers into the quarterback conversation here. So I'll pose the question this way. Kyle, without Aaron Rodgers in the mix at all, because we don't know what he's going to decide or when he's going to decide it, but when you look at the current quarterbacks that the Steelers have right now, that's the competition that we're looking at here. What do you make of it?
I think Mason Rudolph is not a terrible quarterback, but he is not Aaron Rodgers. I think you're going to do whatever you can do to get to Aaron.
You're being kind.
I think you got to do whatever you can to get Aaron Rodgers in the building, because the way that they constructed this team in the draft, the way that they signed guys this offseason, they did it as if they already had a quarterback under contract for their starting position. They don't, which leads me to believe the shoe's going to drop here any day. Aaron Rodgers will be in black and gold.
I think Aaron Rodgers will play, and I think he's going to play for the Steelers.
Yep.
Because if he doesn't, Mike Tomlin's not having a winning record this year.
And that's
you're not playing with Mason Rudolph and winning games. And that division, look at the division. I mean, you got the Bengals will be really good again when they stay healthy, if Joe Burrow stays on the field.